If you haven't given Mazda a chance recently, you absolutely need to. This last week I've been spending with the Mazda CX-50 2.5 turbo, and it's been incredible. I've owned a Mazda 2021 Mazda 3 turbo hatchback, all-wheel drive, premium plus with the red leather, all the options. And this is pretty much the equivalent in the CX-50 trim, which is kind of related to the CX-5, but it has a little bit wider, more aggressive, sporty stance to it, which I really like. I loved my time with the CX-5, but I liked this even more. Mazda's doing exceptional things right now. My Mazda 3 turbo hatchback was incredible. And for the money, it was 35 grand. And it was one of the best values, I think, as a daily driver on the market. It did have a couple drawbacks though. The rear suspension especially was kind of stiff. It had a torsion beam, which, you know, while it maybe saved some money, didn't make for the most cushy ride. All of my complaints with the Mazda 3 turbo hatchback have been remedied with this Mazda CX-50. And it's pretty impressive for $43,000, which I know isn't a small amount of money. But at the same time, I can't imagine really wanting or needing anything more than what this CX-50 offers. It has ventilated seats, rear heated seats. It has all of the cameras, which are very high resolution, has a brilliant, bright, clear screen display, has all the, all the cameras. It has lots of power, 227 horsepower with 310 pound-feet of torque. And if you put premium in it, that bumps up the power a little bit as well. And so it's lots of torque. It actually almost feels like a diesel engine, which some of you may not like. I don't mind it at all. I owned a 2013 Volkswagen Golf TDI, and it was a fantastic car. So I don't mind the diesel feel, even though this isn't a diesel. It looks beautiful, gorgeous. The lines are incredible. It handles exceptionally well. That's one of the best things about this, is the handling. In fact, it's almost too heavy, but it's very tight, has excellent on-center feel, like some of the best I've ever felt. And a Mazda CX-50. I mean, I'm talking about, I've driven Porsches and Lamborghinis, things costing much, much more expensive than this, but the steering feel in this is so good. My mind is blown. I'll finish where I started in saying that if you haven't considered Mazda recently, especially with their new CX-50, you're missing out. I think that this is an excellent vehicle, and I think it's $43,000 well spent, and I really have no complaints about it. The rear seat is has plenty of room for adults and kids, even in child seats. Had my own kids back there. The cargo area is very spacious. The seats are comfortable. It gets decent gas mileage. I got combined driving this last week about 26 miles to the gallon. And if I'm being honest, like, this might be something that I'd consider picking up someday. I think it looks great. If you're shopping for a Crosstrek or an Outback or something similar, an Outback's a little bit bigger than this, but especially if you're looking at like a Crosstrek or the subcompact territory, you absolutely need to consider this. And I would say you don't even really need to drive it. I would just put your money in, get an order going, and you're going to be very, very happy with how far your money goes with the Mazda CX-50. So well done, Mazda. Seriously, I appreciate this car. I love this car. I'm going to miss this car, and I don't say that about all the ones that come through my house. But this one is a great one, and Mazda is doing things awesome. So let's take it for a drive. I'll give you some more impressions. I'll look around, show the interior, and then I'll give you some final thoughts. So here is that beautiful Mazda CX-50. And while I did really enjoy the CX-5, I think that this is just better, and compared to an already excellent car, I think this is even better in pretty much every way. First and foremost being this styling. The proportions are so perfect. It's not too high, it's not too bubbly. It feels lower and wider than the CX-5. And I think it just looks awesome. It looks like slightly rugged, but still being classy. Great proportions. I love the haunched hips there. I love the polymetal gray paint. I love the taillights. Everything about it, I think, just looks really, really sharp. And again, if you're looking at something in the subcompact SUV territory, you're definitely going to want to check this out. It blows so much of the competition right out of the water, and I think it competes far above its weight. I know that maybe Audis and Mercedes and BMW shoppers aren't necessarily cross-shopping with a Mazda, but I think that you absolutely should be. Coming into the interior, nice heavy doors. They feel so well constructed, so solid. You have really nice materials, soft. I mean, that's a lot of padding here. Beautiful leather with its brown stitching. You got an excellent Bose stereo, 12 speakers, which sounds incredible. You have seats that are heated and ventilated, and the ventilation is phenomenal. It's some of the best I've felt, even with cars that cost $30,000 or more more than what this costs. It's just amazing. The bolstering is perfect, and it's actually stiff. So over time, most cars, if you're pushing down on that every day with your leg, that'll squish down. Mazda's gone through even the effort of adding some padding in making that even stronger. And I love this cool, almost like rope inside. It just, cool little touches. You can really tell that Mazda is trying to just make this a special experience. Not just this car, but really all of their lineup right now. But I would say especially the CX-50. Just to show you a little bit more here, you got this nice armrest that feels good. You got a button on either side, which opens up to a fairly deep cubby, some USB ports. You have a wireless charger here that works decently well. Sometimes it didn't connect with my phone with its case on. You have the traditional Mazda dial, which I'm a fan of. I think it's pretty easy to use. And you have all this nice rubberized little storage compartment, as well as your cup holders, your MI drive, sport, off-road, and normal, and automatically disengaging parking brake. So as you can see there, it's a very nice looking interior. $43,000, and it definitely feels more upscale than the price tag would suggest. Coming into the rear, it's the same story. Nice materials, a little bit more hard plastic, but you have plenty of room. I'm 5'9", and here's my son's booster. He's almost 7 years old, and lots of room back here. There's your ventilation and your heated seats. My daughter was over here in her car seat, and my wife, who's also 5'9", she had plenty of room as well. To show you how much room I have, and I took out the middle headrest for the rear, which I'll show you why in just a minute. But me sitting behind where I would have the seat, I've got a good amount of room. Definitely more than in my Mazda 3. I wouldn't say it's super spacious, but more than enough just to stay comfortable on maybe not road trips, but all other drives. You should be totally fine sitting back here, as long as you're not, you know, over 6 feet and the driver or the front passenger are over 6 feet either. There's another view of the front. You do have a pretty small middle vent. It's maybe 3 or 4 inches long. A little bit small considering the rest of the dash does not have air vents. So I would have liked to see that be a little bit larger. It kind of looks like an afterthought, but it does cool down the cabin just fine regardless. Coming into the cargo, just button underneath here, automatic lift gate, which is very nice. And look at all that cargo space. That's really impressive. You fold down those back seats and you're gonna have even more. You have these really helpful cubbies on here on the side for lots of your stuff. Lift this up, there's your spare. So no real storage underneath, but that's okay. Lots of great space though for cargo. Just really impressive. Press the button, automatically lowers. Press the button, and it comes to life. And there's that annoying Mazda chime that's in all of their cars. So this has wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, which are super nice to have. Nice 10.25-inch screen up above that's crystal clear, looks beautiful. Here is camera view. Just stunning. So good. It's so helpful for parking. Really, really good quality. I love it. Coming down to the center stack, you have your traditional just Mazda, just minimalism here. Really, just the buttons you need. Heated steering wheel, heated seats, ventilated seats, air conditioning. It's so simple and so easy to use. And I will say that the ventilated seats are some of the best I felt. The heated steering wheel is excellent. The heated seats are excellent. I just love spending my time. This is like one of the best, I think, most perfect daily drivers you can get, especially if you have snowy climates. Put some snow tires on this, and you're really, really gonna like it. Estimated fuel economy, 23 miles per gallon in the city, 29 on the highway, 25 combined. I've been getting about 26 miles per gallon over my week of combined driving, and not bad at all. On sometimes coming home, I got over 28 to about 29 as estimated, on the commute, and it was, really not bad. All right, so let's start this thing up and go for a drive. I've loved my time, as I've already said, in this Mazda CX-50. And I'm just a huge fan of Mazda in general right now. I think they're doing such cool stuff. I know they're a smaller company. They don't have the biggest lineup, but even my wife said, of all the cars we've been in, it feels like Mazda has just one of the best overall just designs and just feelings they put into a car. This is truly enjoyable to drive, and I'm saying that as a driving enthusiast. I love driving, and this is very fun. It's very engaging. It's very responsive. It's very interesting, and I think that you could definitely do a lot worse than this new Mazda CX-50. All right, so I'm pulling out here. I'm gonna give it the beans a little bit, and it's very torquey. I wouldn't say this thing is particularly really fast, but it's really fun. There's a ton of torque there. And 310 pound-feet of torque just on regular gas. Woo, yeah. And here we go up some curvy roads. That steering is so heavy. It almost, I know it's not, but it almost feels unassisted sometimes. Like it really kind of gets your arm working out, and it's kind of fun. I kind of like it. A lot of steering's really light these days, but this is good. And so taking it around these corners, it's like, ooh, the turn in, sharp. My mind is like having trouble even making sense of it, because I know this isn't a sports car, but if you want to push it, it really kind of feels like it is. Woo! This is a fantastic car. I don't know what else to say about it. If this is the sort of car you're looking... One more time, here we go. Ah! Woo! If this is the sort of car you're looking for, that is so bright. I'm being blinded right now. You are going to be super happy with this. And I know some people might, if you're shopping for Audis, GLA or the Mercedes GLA or the Audi Q3, those sorts of things, you're definitely going to want to also check this out. And I think you're going to be pretty darn happy. Save yourself, $7,000, $8,000 and just have yourself a great time. I've been in a lot of those other cars, and you know, I don't know all the technical details, and that's not really what I'm about in my reviews, if you haven't caught on yet. I'm more about the driving feel. What is this like to daily drive? Should I be spending my money on this car? You can't drive, as my friends at Everyday Driver talk about, you can't drive a spec sheet. And so what is it like to daily drive? What is it like to live with kids, running to the store, commuting, having fun with, all of that stuff? And as a daily driver, this is exceptional. And I really liked the CX-5, but I don't think this sits nearly as high, probably a couple inches lower. And I would definitely, and I think the CX-5 is a great option, but if it were my money, I would pick this. I think it looks awesome. I think it handles even better. And I think that it's even a little more roomy in the back. The CX-5 was pretty tight, and this isn't super roomy, but I think it's a little bit more roomy for kids, especially with car seats, than the CX-5 was. So in conclusion, I've loved this car. Like, huge props to Mazda. I've driven pretty much their entire lineup now, and wow. And I think that this CX-50 is probably, as far as their SUVs go, this is probably the best of the bunch. And I think, well, I like this even more than my Mazda 3. And so go and check it out, put in your order, just be thrilled with it, because you're getting a fantastic bargain for your money. 43 grand, I don't know what more you could really want. Unless you really want to pay up a lot more for like a lot more power, a lot more, you know, luxury features. But for basic luxury with great features, great tech, great driving dynamics, yeah, all of that, great value, you know, go for it. Leave some comments below if you've checked this out, and if you've bought one, let us know why. Let's help each other out. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you.